What's happening? What's happening? Well, that great forecast procrastinator who spun that wheel that said it was not going to end, but it became a thrill. The taker, the maker. The Lakers were done in five. Where are you, Shannon Sharpe? Now, we're going to talk about the Lakers. We're going to get this out in the open. LeBron crying and flopping and acting, rolling all on the ground, rolling all over. He was excited his son got to get on the stage with him. He's talking about, I don't know how long I'm going to play. Well, let me give you a few words of advice. There was a man named Tom Brady, and it wasn't that he couldn't go any longer, but he just said, maybe I just think I'll take the money and go keep my dignity. Because I can sit here and stockpile stats, I can keep on playing in this game, but just because you can don't mean you should. Let me say it again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I told people last year that all the OGs was gearing up for the Olympics and they all got eliminated. Now I'm gonna tell you something. LeBron, you're not blind. You're smart. You have a high basketball IQ. But you see Kawhi Leonard, he's in the final stages. James Harden, final stages. Steph Curry, we'll see what happens, but it's more likely the final stages. Even if they win the series, there's not much there. Kevin Durant, we know, is in the final stages. All the OGs are in pretty much in the West, and they all look like they're in retirement formation. Because even though they can play, it can't happen no more. Chris Paul is gone. You see it. Now, let's just keep it on the Lakers. Let's talk about elephants in the room, shall we? Luka's waistline and everything that was going on was not good. He was overweight, out of shape, and just needed a V8. He just didn't have the goods. Then we get to JJ Redick getting out coached. Didn't have any hope, couldn't cope. Just dropped like the soap. Your bench sucked. You had no direction. You had no fundamental. You were just out of tune, out of rhythm. And, you were just looking for something to make sense. But it's just one of those situations that you could not overcome. Them Timberwolves were too young, too big, too brass, too intense. And they put the wood on you. And they left you laying. So now you gotta go through another situation where you got rid of one coach. Darvin Ham is somewhere cashing his checks and laughing because he got out of that storm. Anthony Davis somewhere laughing he got out of that storm. Jenny Bus, I hope you're happy with this. LeBron James then promised you the moon, the stars, and all he's giving you is flop movies and a flop roster, which nobody wants. And a head coach that was in over his head. That's right. What's different about this year than last year? 4-1 is 4-1. Or better yet, 2-12 the last 3 years in the postseason. Yeah, you got 2 rounds deeper 2 years ago, but you know better. Austin Reeves is not a third option. He's just a dude who should probably be coming off the bench as a sixth man because he got exposed badly. There's a reason why Dallas didn't take him in the trade because he really has no value and nothing to maintain or mainstay. They are in a lot of trouble, and no one's going to feel sorry for him. So LeBron, you should consider getting out because you keep getting knocked out in five. You really aren't there, and your numbers and your points don't really matter no more. It's good for stat padding, it's good for your kingly longevity records, but in the eye of everything, like Charles Barkley said, you can't equate a couple good weeks for a season. It's kind of like dating somebody. Like, just because y'all had a good weekend rendezvous and fling, you don't put a ring on it and say happily ever after. And this is the problem you're running into. You got a lot of work to do, and time's against you. I know you're trying to hold off to get your other son on the team, but they're going to have to pretty much do you like the Sandman did on the Apollo stage and yank your butt off it because it's not happening. It's a disaster when you don't win. It's a disaster when you make a move like this, when you bring in a new coach because you said the other one is incomplete. And it is embarrassing when you just don't get the job done. This is not what they signed up for. And so now you're back to the drawing board. But this is what happens. Anyway, Enough about them Lakers, because Shannon Sharpe did make a great prediction, except he got it in reverse. But it was in 5, and their time is up. And LeBron's is about to. And JJ Redick, if you ever gonna be a legit coach, you can't get stuck with just starting 5, especially with 5 of them guys nobody wants. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like it. The membership, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. I'm out one time. Peace.